Hey, in the next set of videos, I am going to show you how you can obtain artwork from different sources and edit them in vector editing programs like Inkscape or Adobe Illustrator, CorelDraw, and many other programs. Later, you can use such edited figures for your thesis or presentations. We will begin with published PDFs and then go to dedicated websites with free vector artwork for you. By the way, my name is Dr. Babila Tachu, and I have been teaching different aspects of effective science communication within the framework of seminars and classes over the last years. I also consult with and help scientists and engineers to optimize their figures for submission to journals. And I am glad to share most of the skills with you online. And this is why. After you have spent time and money doing any form of research, it makes sense to present your data in the best possible way and to crystallize complex thoughts and processes into illustrations that are visual and easy to understand. The first skill we will look into is how to obtain artwork from published material and edit it. The edited artwork could then be used for a presentation, your thesis, or elsewhere. You can obtain artwork from published articles for a presentation and cite the source. But you cannot use this for a new manuscript or publication without prior permission of the copyright holders. One kind of copyright which will allow you more freedom is the Creative Commons license. I have a link on this for you in the description section down below. As a reminder, the artwork you get can easily come in two variants, bitmap or vector graphics. Again, as a reminder, you can edit and scale the vector format without loss of quality. This is not true for the bitmap format. With the bitmap format, you cannot easily edit and you lose quality when you begin to zoom into the image. And you may ask, how do you know if an article you have at hand has bitmap or vector graphic artwork? And the answer is simple. Simply zoom into the article many times. If the figures become blurry, they are bitmap or raster graphics. If the quality stays the same, they are most likely vector quality. Now, as a rule of thumb, some journals like Nature, Science, Cell include vector images in their publications. Many other journals do not. Let us take two PDFs and see if they have vector or bitmap artwork. What we do here is applicable to any PDF you have. I have already opened the PDFs. We will go to this first PDF, which is a publication by Suman et al., and zoom into above 1000%. Here you notice the artwork is getting blurry. This is bitmap or raster graphics. And you may ask, why is this important? So, the implication is that you could import this into your presentation, but you will not be able to edit and scale it up a lot. Above all, when you begin to enlarge the image, it will get pixelated. Now, I took part in making the figure and have the vector quality of this image opened on tab 2. So for comparison, let us go to it and zoom to say 1000 times. Do you notice the image resolution is still very good? Let us zoom again to say about 6400%. Even at 6400%, the image is still presented at very high resolution and is not pixelated. So here is a basic difference between bitmap and vector graphics. Now let us go to a third PDF, which is a publication by Budrich et al. From the journal Cell, and zoom into above 1000 times. Here you notice the artwork is not blurry as the one before. This is vector graphics. And I will zoom in even further. Awesome. The quality stays the same. This is vector quality. And what is the practical implication of this? So, you could import a vector image like this into an editor like Inkscape or Illustrator, and will be able to edit and scale it as much as you wish without loss of resolution. To extract this image, we will go to Inkscape, take File, Open, or Ctrl-O, then we select the page we are interested in and open it just like with any other program. A quicker way is to drag and drop the PDF on the Inkscape page. When we do this, it may take a while based on how big your RAM is and whether your computer has been stuffed with things to report to the company, a kind of marketing, you know. And as a general rule, bigger RAM is always important when you are working with graphics. Well, opening the PDF could usually take a while, and when it is done, this dialog window will come up allowing us to select a target page with the artwork. So, I will go on and select the page where the figure is found. Let us say we choose page 4 so that we isolate one or more of the illustrations found up here. We will leave every other setting here below at its default. Then choose OK. It will take a while to open up. Just stay patient. Once the page opens up, you will notice that all the content is grouped into one block. I will zoom into the page. Let us say we wish to isolate figures A and B and use them for a presentation or edit them. We will start by selecting the whole block and going to Object, Ungroup, and it may take some time for the individual contents to be ungrouped. And then we notice we can click on individual blocks of text or objects. So it is done right now. We now can click on and select individual blocks of text or artwork. Beware that in some cases, some upper components of the whole figure are linked individually with other components on the lower part of the figure. For example, if you click on B here and pull to the side, you will notice that all the subheadings A, B, C, D, E, and F are grouped in their own subgroup. In such a case, you will need to ungroup more than once to free all the component figures from subgroupings. Here, I wish to copy out just these first two figures, and they are not subgrouped to other parts of the figure below. At this stage, you can now edit the page, which you can then save afterwards as a new document containing only one or more subfigures or their modifications. Intuitively, we may have wanted to delete all the text here and leave only the image. There is a way to do that all at once. We will see that in a few minutes. However, it is faster copying or cutting the image and continuing with it on a fresh new page. To do this, I will pick the selection tool and select the images we are interested in. In certain cases, you want to be careful by grouping all the component parts of the image before selection. Now, out of experience, I know there is a likelihood that the text here on the figure are not normal text. In some cases, there are objects. Once you convert text into objects, it looks like the text you know, but the computer will no longer be able to recognize them as text. So you will not be able to use things like text search functions on them. So for our later purpose, I am going to grab some normal text here from the figure legend so that I use it later on to illustrate how you can delete all text from an object. After selection, I will take Ctrl+C to copy, then Ctrl+N to open a new page, and I will take Ctrl+V to paste the objects onto the new page. You can now go on and select elements of the graphic and edit them. For instance, I could choose a line here, go to Object, Fill and Stroke, choose Stroke Paint, and change the color to what I want. Then go to Stroke Style and adjust the stroke to what I want. You may select all the information here and scale them up by holding the Ctrl key down and grabbing one of these handles and pulling to the side as much as you want. At times, you may need all or some of the real text, and you will simply go to them one by one and edit them, whether you are deleting, changing the font size, color, or any other attribute. At times, you may not need the text. So, in such a case, we may have some superfluous text in some figures we need to delete. For instance, the extra text from the figure legend will serve here for illustrative purposes. Or we may just wish to take away all the text and rewrite our own new text. A longer and less effective way of deleting them is by selecting them one by one and deleting. This takes time if you have many texts on your page. For all vector editing software like Inkscape, Illustrator, CorelDraw, you will do this by selecting objects of a particular type. For those of you coming from Illustrator, you will do this in Illustrator by select all text objects. And that is pretty short. For Inkscape, however, the procedure is a little bit longer, but it gives you the same result. And for the free price of Inkscape, this is awesome. To do that in Inkscape, go to Edit, Find, and you will have this dialog box on the right side. Under Search In, select Text. Under Scope, select All. Then click on this plus sign of the Options tab to open up more functions. Under Object Type, unselect all types and select Text. Then select Find. Now, you notice here that for this PDF, none of the text within the figure were selected. On the contrary, those we copied from the figure legend were all selected. And why is that? Why is it so? Well, if you look below here at the status bar, you will read that all the objects selected are text. The implication is that these that were not selected are not text. Now we can right-click on the selected text and select Delete from the drop-down menu to delete them. Next, let us see what these ones that were not selected really are. I will go ahead to click on them and look below. You will notice they are objects. This is quite normal as graphic designers usually convert some text to objects to have more flexibility in changing their look and style, and so you will find such a thing once in a while. But if you get to editing these figures, you will have difficulties overwriting what you see to look like text. In order to have more flexibility in editing the figures, it will make sense to delete these objects which look like text and write new ones of your own, which you can edit at any time. And you can now go on to the individual components of the figure and edit them further the way you want them to be it the color you want to change, the stroke size, etc. When you are done with editing, you can save the document as EMF to paste into any Office application like Word, PowerPoint, etc. Please watch my other videos to know how to do this. I have the links for you in the description section down below. This has been pretty simple, but what if you want to find some illustrations and use which are not copyrighted? Well, the answer is there are many other places where you can go get artwork to edit for your presentation or research. Using this method to get and edit an illustration is both time-saving for you and can be a game changer. If you have been using the previous videos to learn how to draw figures and do illustrations, please comment below and share your experience with those who are trying to learn it right now. If this, however, is your first time here, I will like to have you give a thumbs up and subscribe below, because this video series is all about helping you to effectively illustrate and communicate your research results or work. And this is going to change your study and work life positively. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we will visit websites with dedicated vector graphic images for science and engineering. We will get them and see how to edit them. Bye-bye.